Welcome to the first episode of Wrestling Ropes. Wrestling has been so hot for the last, I would say, 2 years, and it's gotten better the last, I would say, couple of months as well, with everything that's going on with Cody Rhodes. But let's start this episode with the Elimination Chamber. Let's just come off from the beginning. This was a happy B show, entertaining show for the fans to enjoy and go home happy. Let's just put it how it is. It's just a neutral show for me. We had the first match of the actual show with the Women's Elimination Chamber, and I predicted that match. I feel like Becky was going to get hers, and I think the eliminations pretty much went how I expected them to go. It looks like Liv Morgan is becoming that almost girl. Like she almost gets there, but she doesn't win the big one again. So I saw Becky winning it. I have no problem with that. She's been doing other stuff now for a couple of years now. She went to NXT and all this stuff, and she had that feud with Trish. I did see some people did not like that, but we're not all going to like the outcome ever. So that's all right. Then we had the tag team match. And again, there is no way, there's no scenario that I could see the Judgment Day losing this match. This was more of, we need something out there. Let's put these guys out there. Let's give them a good show. Let's have some new people on a premium live event. But there was no way that Judgment Day was going to lose the tag team championships before WrestleMania. I feel that if they're going to lose it, it's going to be at WrestleMania. And even then, I don't know. But Judgment Day, I feel like it's in a little decline right now. At one point, they were like this huge thing on Raw, and now it's more, to me right now, they're very entertaining, which is fine with me. But they don't seem to be booked as this huge faction, even though we all like them. I just felt like before they looked more of a force. Right now, it's just like they're just cruising, not taking anything away from them. I'm fine with the outcome of the match as well. Damien Priest and Baylor going over. That's just the way that I feel that it needed to be. That's what people wanted to see. Again, they're in Australia. Mommy's part of the Judgment Day. There's no way they're losing the tag team championship. Then we get to the Grayson Waller effect. And obviously, his home country, he comes out. We get Austin Theory out there. We get Seth Rollins out there. And we get Cody. I really thought that even though The Rock and Roman Reigns were not advertised for this event, that because it's a special event in a different country, they haven't seen Roman Reigns, they would show up and have a little brawl with Cody and Seth, when Cody and Seth are standing tall this time. But that didn't happen. And I was like, what? So they only did this so they could have Rollins and Cody out there, show them to the crowd, please the crowd with that. But they don't bring Roman and The Rock over for a little altercation. We're now, about 40 days out from WrestleMania? And you're having this B show in Australia, but it's fun because it's in another country for them. And they haven't seen Roman. I forgot the last time that maybe they saw Roman. So, when is the next time they're actually going to see Roman as the champion with Rock in Australia? I don't see them getting that ever. So I think they miss an opportunity there. And some people will say, oh, you're going to have Roman and The Rock fly just to brawl with Cody. Well, AJ Styles flew to Australia just to cost LA Knight his match. But we'll talk about that later. But back to the Grayson Waller effect with Seth Rollins and Cody. They just missed an opportunity. And while I was watching, oh, and I forgot to say this. I watched this live. I I was up at 5 a.m. watching this live. I didn't watch it afterwards. So as I'm watching this live and Cody is talking about The Rock, I spotted some signs behind him. Some signs that I remember from back in the day. There were two signs in the crowd, and they both said, "Die, Rocky, die." I did not think that would be allowed in a stadium. And they look very similar to the one from back in the 90s. I caught that right away. But again, this segment, it was just a crowd pleaser. Hey, here's Cody, here's Seth. Let's just talk and move on. Then we finally have our men's Elimination Chamber match. And this is what I was looking forward to. Even though I felt I knew the outcome, I always had it in me that they were going to give me Drew McIntyre. At worst, they were going to give me Randy Orton. So I would not be disappointed with either or. It was just going to be like, damn, Drew wasn't going to get a match after all of this at WrestleMania. But he came out the way that I expected, that he wanted. It wasn't clean. It wasn't clean, but he still got it done. The only thing that I feared during that match, that for some reason, Logan Paul was going to win it. That's the only thing that I feared during that match. Because it was down to him, Randy, and Drew. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Why? But actually, thanks to him, he ended up winning that match. So Randy wasn't pinned clean. Drew gets what he wants. Randy doesn't look weak. That's the only reason why he lost. And I don't know what this is building to in Drew. Is he going to win the world title the same way? Is the bloodline going to get involved with Seth at WrestleMania in the match and cost him the title? And Drew wins the title that way? The same way that he beat Cody, the same way that he beat Randy, now the same way that he might beat Seth at WrestleMania. We'll see when we get there. Another highlight of the match was when Drew McIntyre, his Bobby Lashley with the Claymore, pins him, but then he just laying there. And I swear, for a minute, it looked like Bobby was out. Like, that was sold very well. I started to think for a minute, is something wrong? Because then you see the referees coming in to get him out. And I'm like, the door is open. And out of nowhere, it's not Randy, no. It's AJ Styles beating the living hell out of LA Knight. These men flew across the world just to cause this man the match. Yes, I'm here for that. And I'm like, yeah, that's the way that you do it. So in theory, LA Knight didn't lose the match. He just couldn't win it because somebody got involved. AJ Styles beat the living hell out of him with a bunch of chair shots. And that was it for him. That was it for LA Knight. And then we get the final match of the night. Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. Again, this was just a crowd pleaser. It was just the way to go. You had to have this match last. It is her country. Everybody loves Rhea. Everybody. So, of course, this is the last match. It was a good match, actually. It wasn't bad at all. I watched the whole thing. And again, it just, like I say, the best I can give this live event is a B. Because it was just pleasing the crowd. And it's just on the road to WrestleMania. There's not much that you can do. They could have done something with bringing Roman and The Rock. That would have made it a little better. But not much they could have done, I guess. But let's see where we go from here. I think from here now we can start just looking to WrestleMania and how it's going to play out. I'm actually going to be at WrestleMania this year, both nights. So it should be a fun couple of weeks coming up and how all of this is going to develop.